All right, YouTube, what's going on? So I'm back in Puerto Viejo. This time we're actually here for some consulting and design work. Going to be visiting a couple of farms, some friends while we're here. But this is actually mostly a work-related trip. We're actually designing 2 different properties that are smaller, that are going to be kind of turnkey permaculture properties, and then a larger homestead. We're actually with the clients here today. They're going on this tour with us, and today we're at Finca Tierra. This is in Puerto Viejo area. I'll put the links in the description down below. What they do here is a lot of educational PDCs. I think they run like 5 courses here a year. So we're gonna get a little tour of this place, check it out, see what they got growing on. Y'all ready for this? Hold tight.
Hi, welcome to Finca Tierra. I'm Anna, and this is my husband Ian. We're the teachers and co-founders of Finca Tierra. It's a permaculture education center for sustainable living. We teach our students about the essential steps of sustainable living and how to get a profitable outcome from it. And yeah, we met in our early 20s. We were young professionals. We didn't really know. We just wanted to live a sustainable life. We wanted to live in a...
We met on vacation right here in Puerto Viejo.
Yeah,
really?
We wanted.
Wow.
Yeah, so we wanted to be living near the beach and surrounded by nature, and we wanted to live in abundance, really, and have a lot of time for fun and friends and yeah. So we created, a food forest.
We didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Anna was at that time. We were on vacation. Anna was working in Congress as a legal consultant for the indigenous...
The President of Human Rights, and I was specialized in indigenous affairs.
Yeah, and I studied urban planning and graduated with a degree in fine art. And so we met, and we're both like, hey, maybe what we really want to do is just live in the jungle near the beach, have a food forest, and have a little house, maybe have a dog.
Yeah.
We bought a cattle pasture, like a 10-acre abandoned cattle pasture. It was like maybe 7 years after they left. The farmhouse was still there. Mm-hmm. There was no road, no electricity. There was an old spring where they used to shower. So like, well, we got a water source. We have the farmer's old house, and we kind of got on site. And what did we do? We went around and studied. We went to indigenous areas, figuring out how subsistence farmers were doing it in the area. We went to tropical agricultural universities, seeing what they had to offer. Bought a ton of books, armed ourselves with the permaculture design manual.
And
experimenting,
really.
Yeah. Build our house.
Yeah, we
no
had
idea.
Like our first year, we didn't have any electricity. We used to have like oil lamps. So in the first 2 years, we were able to have electricity, we're independent with electricity and water.
We put up our own solar panels.
Yeah, we put
somehow.
up our own solar.
We had no idea how we were even going to get electricity when we built the house.
Yeah, we got a few tricks because it was very expensive, the solar panels. But here, we explained to you the tricks that we got to minimize like 80% of the energy consumption.
The refrigerator.
Yeah.
Or the freezer to refrigerator, and we were able to make our house with a freezer or a refrigerator, washing machine, and all of our electronics and stuff. Fan and lights for like $2,500 in total. 4 panels, 2 batteries. Yeah.
Which is very cheap.
Yeah. So we were just able to get off. Yeah. And we set our house up so it's on gravity rainwater by design. And so we had water before we even had electricity. We had water. We had in our showers, in our toilet, everything, washing dishes and stuff. And then we made a hot water compost thing, which we're going to show you. Yeah. And we were living pretty good. By year 2 is a lot of hard work and a lot of craziness, but by year 2 we were kind of food secure at that point. We at least knew we had enough nutrients, enough carbohydrates, fats, and greens, and we could live off the land if we needed to. And we did that for quite a few years, and then we started Finca Tierra. We wanted to show people, invite people to come and see that experience, and just continue learning, continue inventing, continue evolving all of those systems, kind of refining them into something that's really easy to use, really productive, and fun to do on a daily basis, and make economic sense, right? Yeah. We always were, we had a little bit of money, we'd go to add another thing on.
And the main thing is just to be coherent, right? We all know what's going on with Earth, so we just wanted to be coherent with our thoughts, with our beliefs, and just and it's easy to learn. I mean, it takes time, it takes hard work, but then
we've been doing it for like 10 years.
Yeah, for like 10 years, but then we are in a moment right now that we are self-sufficient, and we have so much time to do projects like Ian started an eco village and with some other partners here in Carbon, and I'm starting like a bioregional bioregional plan for Talamanca, for this region.
Working with the local municipality.
Yeah, well, local communities and municipalities, local government. Yeah. So yeah,
cool.
We just want
we're going
to share what we've learned and show people that it's possible.
And now we're doing that by hosting 5 permaculture design courses throughout the year, and then in the winter and spring we have a internship for 4 weeks if people want to stay on and kind of learn exactly how we run the farm. So people that want to kind of get how much work is it, what, understand the full context, what's your day like, and all the skills. It's really like skill based, what we know, what we've done. Natural building, gardening, food forestry, and then animals and this type of thing. Yeah.
Water, energy, food, and shelter.
That's it.
I'm going to explain our farm map here real quick. We have a 10-acre site. The 2.5 acres over here is where we first started to build our homestead. We have our zone 1, and we have some of the stuff we got in here. Basically, our zone 1 is our herbs and spices, and now we've moved everything primarily around our education center. So our zone 1's around our education center. We've got our herbs and spices, our vegetables, and then a couple vegetable gardens for production, going into a lot of greens, cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, papayas, small bell peppers, uchuvas, water spinach. Those are some things that we've been growing for a long time and can really do a large production of. So maybe someday we'll start selling at the markets. But for now, we got plenty for all the people that come out. Our zone 2, which is kind of this whole area here, which is kind of where we have our cabins for students, our home and coming around. We have our food forest staple crops, so we have a lot of really fatty things like ackee, avocado, peach palm, which just has a really fatty kind of coconut, breadfruit, bread nuts, cassava, taro root, that's a big one. Yeah, different types of yams. And then Job's Tier, a perennial grain. And that's really the only grain we grow, except for maybe a little corn seasonally. In here we have our hedgerows. So we grow kind of some production greens, but we grow a lot of air potato, loofah. That's a really good kind of zucchini substitute that you can grow all year long in the humid tropics. Passion fruit, sacha inchi nut, really, omega-3 rich, fatty nut that starts producing, if you give it a trellis, it starts producing in 6 months. Wing bean, again, like the only bean that we can really produce 12 months out of the year here. And then our food forest, just a little bit of everything. That food forest is for us and it's for our guests. So we have a little bit of everything, so there's always food going. Let's see, some of the highlights are, one of my favorites is button mangosteen. Of course, we have a bunch of cacao, so we make all of our own chocolate for us and people coming here. Cashews, we love the apple, but of course we also love cashews. Champadek, a lot of coconut for oil. Coffee, for Anna and I, we make all of our own coffee, but it's kind of labor-intensive process, so it's not for everybody else. Durian, we have some that haven't started to fruit yet. Jackfruit, we got a nice big tree, a lot of limes, meringue, mangosteen, orange, petali. We grow a lot of pineapple, of course pitanga. And then this area over here, another 2.5 acres or so, is our zone 3, which is a little bit of food forest, but then also kind of heavy in production forest of avocado. There's a type of Simmons, which will actually produce twice a year at this site. A selection from southern Florida, button mangosteen, jackfruit, lime, sugarcane. We make our own sugar, but also we make sugarcane wine or raw rum. So we need a lot of that. And mangosteen, stuff that is in demand locally. And then production hedgerows through here. Katuk, chaya, moringa, cranberry hibiscus, part of our kind of mixed greens. Yeah, stuff that does really well in rows, which really doesn't fit too well in our veggie patch. And then zone 4, we got a lot of guadua, we got our suita, we have tons of laurel, kind of all through the farm we have laurel, we're always cutting that up. Our house is made of laurel, and we saw it up on site. All the wood in any of our structures, we saw that up right on site. And we still have, you know, tons and tons left. They grow pretty quick, they grow straight, they don't really bother any of our production. And then zone 5, edible mushrooms, we have a lot of wood ear, wild oyster mushroom, and then we have a type of wild reishi mushroom as well. And they're really easy to spot. So we don't really grow any, we just forage around. If they're there a week or two ago, it rains, they're probably gonna be there again.
Cool.
And then now we're gonna go through a little walk of our zone 1 and check out our vegetable gardens.
Let's check it out.
This is a little cinnamon tree.
Nice. Ceylon cinnamon, okay.
Here we are moving into our vegetable garden. Anna's taking out
Whoa, what do we got going on
lemongrass, Brazilian spinach. This is water spinach, really great. You eat the stem typically. You can eat the flower, you can eat the leaves. It's a camote or sweet potato relative, but really you steam this or stir fry this for just a little bit, and then you have this really nice vegetable. It's one of our favorite greens for cooking. Now, kang kong is another common name.
Nice.
Yep.
You're eating it?
I'm gonna eat the whole thing, yeah, for sure. So, this is one of our vegetable gardens. We kind of have a lot of vegetable gardens inside of different areas of the food forest. This has a lot of our greens in it, and this one has a lot of our like tomatoes. We have some baby tomatoes coming up. Cucumbers, stuff that either we use every day or that we need to harvest basically every day. So the Brazilian spinach, kang kong. Let me tell you a little bit about.
You call this one Brazilian spinach, you said?
We do.
Okay.
Ciso?
Yeah, I have that, yeah. Okay. You got the vetiver rows going on down there.
So we mix that in with our salad, like maybe like 20%, maybe something like this, just to give it a little crunch. Yeah. Cook it a little bit as well. This is our veggie patch. We grow cucumbers and tomatoes trellising, and we just keep rotating everything through. So it's greens, it's tomatoes, it's cucumbers, chilies, everything keeps moving through. A couple years ago, we started to look at how we could do it more efficiently. I was tired of weeding, and I wanted to have veggies moving through the food forest the same way we grow a lot of our roots. We're always moving them through. And so what I wanted to do was come up to a new spot, cut the existing vegetation down, right? And then quickly be able to start growing on that. So what we did was we bought some shade cloth, a really high quality that one of our friends has had some for 30 years, Peter Green, yeah, from Finca Isla. And we've had some for 10, and it's kind of indestructible. So we put that on the ground, melted some holes into it, and we start planting into that. So there's mulch under it. We like to call it a mulch cover, really.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's holding the moisture in. It's stopping from the raindrops, the impact of the raindrops, eroding any soil. It's shading, of course, a bit the soil to protect the microorganisms from the sun, enable a lot of decomposition, because we have a lot of chop and drop under that. You know, it's not full on mulch. And so this has basically reduced all of our weeding. It's almost zero. Weeds still kind of come up through, but they don't overpower our veggies, so it's fine, you know?
Nice.
Yeah. We had a lot of really good results. I mean, this is no real fertilizer besides a little bit of compost, like a dusting of compost, opening up the soil just a little bit, putting a couple handfuls of biochar, and then these are the results. These are all heirloom things that we've been growing for like 10 years though.
Oh, really?
So all the, we've been saving our seeds again and again. So it's only stuff that like is really tried and true. If it's made it, it's gonna look like that. So
what are the trees you're trellising with that aren't growing or
these are all Madero Negro.
Okay.
And so that's something that we grow a lot in the food forest. Sometimes it's called quick stick. Yeah. And so that's our trellis. Yeah. Every time we put some new ones in, you'll see some of them over there are starting to grow.
Oh, they do sprout.
They do sprout up. Yeah. But usually we'll take them out and throw them as a chop and drop and get some new ones and trellis them up again. We shade our veggie garden with papaya. The light here is just so intense. Even though we have a breadfruit tree over there, a bunch of bananas, we still need to have lines of papayas through this to give a little bit of overhead shade to our veggies. Otherwise, we're gonna end up having to water them. And our whole goal is no weeding, no watering, just popping them in. If they make it, if the right variety, they'll produce well, and go on harvesting. So now we're coming into a little bit of another vegetable patch inside of a food forest. These are going to be planted out next week. We put plastic down or a tarp down for about a week or two. Then we throw our shade cloth down, prep up the bed, and then we're ready to plant into it. We've been waiting on the rains, but they just haven't come. So now
So the ground is this wet over here without the rain? Or is that a shower?
Yeah, it started to rain the past couple of nights, so I think we're ready to go. We just missed our rainy season, so we've been kind of confused and holding off on getting all our veggies back in. Mangosteen over there, right on the side. I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if it's about ready to fruit. Berry Ba.
Fruit for like its first time ever?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I would hope that it's about that stage. Katuk, of course, for our salad. We got Berry Ba, and then we have a lemon inside of that. Chilies. Here we are, air layering this guy. We'll see if it's stuck. Got some ants in here. Yeah, there's some roots coming out. Yeah, so now it's definitely ready to get into a bag, and yeah, we got a little air layered clone.
Nice.
Like basically we just abuse everything. Our goal is always take something and then try to break it, and then whatever can stand that is a winner, and then we just keep going with that. So it's heirloom
I like
chili
that
pepper.
style, Ian. That's thriving on neglect right there.
Break it, yeah.
Yeah.
And because it really has to, if it's gonna,
So you're
it's
telling me
gonna be
you're
really
trying
low
to-
maintenance, right?
Yeah.
I've always believed that it should be really, really easy. I mean, that's always the dream of permaculture, and I think it is, if you have enough time, right? If you keep believing that and keep letting that evolve, seeing what's happening in nature, imitating it, and looking a lot at genetics. So we've planted, I don't know, dozens of types of chilies, and there's only like 3 or 4 that really make it every single year under any sort of condition. Yeah, and this is a pretty bad harvest, let's say, here. But we've been pulling, every day we get a little bucket off of
A bad harvest, and you're loading in abundance here.
Yep. And so we'll just take the seeds of some of the healthiest plants in the end, and then replant those and plant out another bed. That's how we do it. No watering. Yeah. And these beds, this is like right here. I think this is the second time we planted here. So the soil's nowhere near what it should be. Imagine this is clay soil with a little bit of biochar, a little bit of calcium, a dusting of compost, and this is what we can get because our genetics are suited for it. Yeah. This breadfruit's really supplying our group with all the carbohydrates we need right now. It's just really loaded it's really loaded up. We're getting like 4 off of it a day these days.
They're beautiful trees. How old's that one?
That one's probably like 5 years old, maybe 6 years old.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it's going into full-on production. What else?
We're on that peanut path, I see, huh?
Peanut path, you know. We really couldn't do it without the peanut grass, I think. I mean, it's so important for the access. Otherwise, I'd just be slipping. It's like pure 100% clay. Always slippery, always falling down if you didn't have this really nice mat holding everything together. The peanut grass, of course, is, you know, it's important to have a nitrogen fixer. The forest out here has about 20% of the trees nitrogen fixers. So we need to have a good percentage of the mass in our food forest nitrogen fixers. And the easiest way is to have these nitrogen fixing
ground covers, yeah.
Covers and paths, yeah.
So you guys have kind of found a system that worked and multiplied it a little bit across the food forest.
What we did was we found systems that worked.
Yeah.
And for our house, for our food forest, for veggies, and then we just doubled down on those things and just expanded those out. You know, we just went really little by little. We never cut a tree down. Kind of after it was cattle pasture, we let everything regrow and didn't disturb anything unless we had a really, really good idea of what we needed to do with it, so we could build up that fertility and we weren't overextending our workload, you know. We always wanted to keep the farm in a state that Anna and I could manage, you know. So if we didn't hold courses, we could be selling fruit, and we'd definitely be producing all of our own food. And so we always really wanted to keep it in that scale, and that's, you know, the easiest way to do that. Make mistakes, get successes, replicate those, and keep it all in the right balance. Another thing we like is the vetiver grass. So we've been planting this year tons and tons and tons of vetiver grass. We've always been using it for stabilization, but now we're using it as a lot of our vegetable mulch as well. So anytime we have our vegetable beds in the food forest, if there's any type of slope, there's not a lot of erosion because we're using the shade cloth. There's almost none really, but certainly there's a little bit. And so we put our vetiver in. Hopefully any sort of nutrients that come off, any soil comes off, gets either caught by those underground or soil gets caught in that above ground, and we cut that back, and that is kind of our long-lasting mulch and compost. The problem here is everything burns off. All your organic matter burns off really quick, so you need constant supply of small amount that breaks down kind of slowly. Also, we're going to experiment with leaf thatching vetiver grass. I hear it's a really, really good leaf thatch. We're just going to vet it, or we're just going to thatch it the same way we thatched that palm, and we'll see how it goes. But I think it's going to have like a 7 or 10 year lifespan, because when you mulch with it, it'll last like a year or two without even, you know, even in this climate, without even fully breaking down. It's pretty weird.
That's pretty incredible.
And it's super insect resistant. Yeah, so it's good. We'll let you know how it turns out.
Cool.
So here's how we established our peanut grass paths. Every foot along this path here and along that path there, we put one of those little plugs of peanut grass in. And then every few months we come up by and kind of trim that path a little bit, and the peanut grass would start to spread and spread. And then eventually, once it took over the whole path, we started making the paths a little bit bigger, like 2 meters thick. So now all our paths are like 2 meter wide. And every time we cut down kind of the islands in between that, the peanut grass has a chance to establish even more and more. So really at this point, we're done establishing the peanut grass. It's there, it's holding our path, so we're not slipping all around. And we have, you know, our fruit trees, our bananas in between, nitrogen fixers, biomass accumulators, and kind of food islands. We used to run Tierra root through here, yucca through here, all types of stuff at a certain point in time. All right, so here is our, careful here, super slippery. Here's our sugarcane press. This is where we press all of our sugarcane through by hand to get the material that we boil down for our sugar, or we use as our primary ingredient in our sugarcane wine or raw rum.
Nice.
We actually bought this from Brazil, and got it shipped up here. It weighs about 50 pounds.
Really?
Yeah, it's in it for the long run. It's kind of like an heirloom sugarcane blush.
So they still make them?
They do in Brazil.
In Brazil, really?
Yeah. Oh, that is baby kiss ginger. It's Peter. I got that from Peter.
You did?
Yeah, I think so. My neighbor here has it as well. And so the flowers, I mean, what we're growing, it looks like
they edible?
Super Dr. Zeusy. Are they edible? The flowers are delicious.
The side flowers. They are. Oh wow.
That's what it's all about.
Just like the spiral ginger.
Here we have a good example of us planting out some veggies. So.
Now this looks like it was freshly sprayed in Roundup, but I'm guessing you guys don't use Roundup, right?
Yesterday, a week ago, we put on a tarp, and we pulled that off yesterday. Once our squash started kind of getting big and gonna fall over. If it fell over and started running on the tarp would make it too hot and it wouldn't be happy about that. So we just wait until it's about to fall over, pull it off, the grass is knocked back, and then we use the opportunity to at the same time install our nitrogen fixing peanut grass. So I'll show you, here's how we do it. Just wrap up a big bunch and then pop that in the ground. As long as you get like 75% of that or so in there,
Boom.
You know, it doesn't matter if it's gonna be a really sunny day, right?
So this is pretty cool. You cover this with a black mat, you plant your squash circles in the middle of it, pull it, and then plant the nitrogen fixing peanut around
fixer. So then next time we come back, we might not have to kill anything. We might just have a nice ground cover here that we can plant into. Squash loves a lot of fertilizer, so we have a little bit of char in here. We have
underneath it. Okay.
some of our worm castings, some kind of rich native soil, and we applied a little bit of calcium to kind of sweeten up the area. We haven't planted it here in a long time.
Are you guys blending something yourself for calcium? What are you using? Just the eggshell?
No, we buy the bag of calcium carbonate.
Okay.
Yeah, and just sprinkle a little bit down. This land here, I mean, look at the quality of the clay.
Is that like one of the only amendments you're actually buying?
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah, that's really the only one. Everything else just cycles through, but you need to add minerals back to your site. If your mineral balances are off, you're not going to have healthy soil, and you're not going to have a lot of life in your soil. So you got to get the chemistry right. It all starts with getting the chemistry in the soil right. And once the chemistry is right, that brings the life. Once the life's right, then you can grow your food. And if you don't have the right minerals in your soil, then you're not going to have the right minerals in your food. And that's what we're all going for. But you see how like clay this is? How it looks like pottery clay? That's what the whole farm looks like. Wow. Just like that. And so it has way too much magnesium in it. So the magnesium calcium ratio is off. So that's why we got to bring in a little bit of calcium. Once we bring in the calcium, it kind of fluffs up a little bit, less oxygen in there, and then we start getting nicer and nicer soil. But we just sprinkle it on as we're growing. We don't go around and cover the whole farm with this. We just, as we're working, we add a little bit on, and throughout time, we end up with really nice deep soil, but starting with that.
Some mud, wow.
Some mud. Mud. This is one of our bread nut trees. We have a lot of breadfruit relatives, and this is a 7-year-old, maybe 8 now, 8-year-old bread nut tree, and it just drops a bread nut or two daily, and it's one of our favorites. It's always in our kitchen. Always, we take them out, roast them up on the pan, and it's just our go-to snack.
See what snacking functions hanging the bananas over here?
We have some bananas. Yeah, this is where we keep our bananas as well.
So here's the fruit right here behind us, right?
This is it. These aren't quite ready. They're gonna get a little bit bigger, and then they'll fall off when they're ready. And it's basically a corn substitute. Okay. It tastes a lot like a chestnut. Here's kind of an older one.
That's an older one. They fall apart. And then the nuts are just...
That one was good yesterday. They come down green and they kind of turn brown.
That quick.
That quick. You gotta get them the same. You gotta roast them the same day for like premium taste. Kind of like a chestnut taste equivalent, and nutrition-wise, it's pretty similar to corn or something like that. So it has a little bit of fat, a little bit of protein, plenty of carbohydrate. But I think somebody can meet most of those needs off just one or two of these trees.
Was that seed the tree 8 years?
Yeah.
Stand next to it.
I
Hold
planted
that seed
this.
up. Wow.
Yeah.
Let me see that seed again, Ian.
Huh?
Hold that seed up. Yeah.
So like 8-year-old tree. Yeah.
Beautiful tree too.
Yeah. We've given it a lot of love and it's given us a lot of food, and I think that's why it's so big.